And these headphones
I
are sitting on
hate
my
it.
ears weird tonight. Making my ear hurt. Okay.
I think it's just because your fat head is fat.
It might be. It might be just because my fat head. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode by the Xbox Dive. My name is Jamie. This guy over here is Chris.
What? What?
That's right.
Here? Yes.
But tonight we're going to talk about something very special. Phil Spencer responded to a fan on Twitter. Now, I'm assuming people, tweet at Phil Spencer all the time. Chris, I'm assuming you do all the time. Those love letters you write.
Oh, he just emails me directly.
Oh, right. I forgot you have a direct
because
connection. My bad.
we're very close, me and Phil. Phil, hey, if you're watching, what's up?
Right. But a fan wrote to him and asked if original Xbox games were going to come to the Xbox One. Some people have wanted for a while, ever since they announced 360 games, because as gamers, we like to be greedy. So, that's always nice. Because if they give us something, we want something more, something better. But his response wasn't no. It wasn't a yes, but it wasn't no. He came out and said, "We haven't ruled it out, but we aren't working on it right now. I'd like to find the time to do it." So if Phil Spencer had his way, if he could wave his magic Phil Spencer wand and, get whatever he wanted, he would have original Xbox games on the Xbox One. And that got me thinking, what games from Xbox One, or from original Xbox, would we like to see on Xbox One? Because there are so many good games. I mean, going back, because I was trying to remember all the games on Xbox One that I enjoyed, and I'm like, man, there are so many games. And most of the really, really big ones, like Halo and stuff like that, it carried over. We'll bring up that kind of stuff. And honestly, recently, Voodoo Vince from Xbox, that's getting remastered. So the stuff on our list, even if it's not getting backwards compatible like the disc, maybe it could be remastered. I mean, that's a possibility. Because Xbox has some properties they just haven't touched in a while. So I figured, let's talk about some of the games from the original Xbox that we want to see on the Xbox One. So I figured we do, 3-4 games, whatever it may be each. Just kind of, go back and forth. Talk about some of our favorite games. But
let's do it.
I'm going to start off with one that was backwards compatible on the 360, but it's not on the One yet, obviously. And that's Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh, that's a good
I absolutely loved the Jet Set Radio series. I loved it on my Dreamcast. And I remember when it came to the original Xbox, I was so bummed because I'm like, I can't play it now. Why didn't it come to the Dreamcast? I can't play it.
Yes.
However, when I got my Xbox 360 and they said Xbox One games are going to become, or original Xbox games, are going to become backwards compatible. I'm like, this is amazing. But this is going to come out in waves, so I wasn't really sure. So I remember checking my phone, like, not every day, probably like multiple times a week, saying, when is this game, going to become backwards compatible? Because I don't think I had a smartphone back then, because it was a while ago. But I was checking on the computer and things like that, and eventually I just bought it. I'm like, it's got to become backwards compatible sometime. So I just went ahead and bought it, and it just sat on my shelf. I'm like, I got to play this game. It just sat on my shelf. Now, when it came out, once it came backwards compatible and I played it, I'm like, okay, it's not as good as the original, but I still loved it. I was still so hyped for it and absolutely loved it.
It's great.
And Jet Set Radio, the original one, is on Xbox One through backwards compatibility of the Xbox 360. But I would love to see the sequel. That would be absolutely awesome. I would be so hyped for that.
Which is funny that we have the original, but we don't have the sequel. So when I bought my original Xbox, I'm pretty sure this is true. I'm trying to think. But I'm pretty sure I got a 2-pack-in game that came with Sega GT Racing.
Oh, okay.
And Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh,
I'm almost positive
I think I do remember that as a package. I think I do.
Yeah, so I'm almost positive that's how I got my Xbox. I was in college, so obviously limited income, so I didn't really buy. I think I bought my Xbox a little bit late. I think that pack was like at least 1, maybe even 2 years after launch. Because I bought a GameCube at launch. Yeah, so I bought a GameCube at launch. Then I picked up an Xbox a couple years after that. So I remember buying Halo and Halo 2 and then I just bought the package. So my first games were Halo, Halo 2, Sega GT Racing, and then Jet Set Radio Future. And I probably spent most of my time playing with Jet Set Radio Future. Yeah, I would love it.
With the original Xbox. See, I never owned the original Xbox. I had a friend, actually a neighbor who had it, and went over there and played it all the time. But for me, my original Xbox experience didn't start until backwards compatibility on the 360. That's when I started playing a lot of these games. Like when I played through the first Halo and the second Halo and Jet Set Radio Future, and like it was on my 360.
Sure.
Yeah. But okay, Chris, what do you got for us, man? What games do you want to see?
Like if Phil called me up, is that my?
Because he will. I mean, he does every weekend. I mean, just to see what's going on in the real world, right? That's right.
Oh. No, sorry. I thought that was Phil calling.
Yeah, he's going through time.
Sorry. It's a bad connection here. Right. So if Phil called and said you could pick only one game to have from the original library, it would without a doubt be Crimson Skies. Oh,
right. Okay. The fighter pilot game.
Yeah. Right. So Crimson. So it's funny because we just recently talked about Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Mm-hmm. I'm a big, I like the arcade style flight simulation, not flight simulation, but the flight arcade, action games. And we just don't get them a lot anymore. There's not really a lot of the ones you get now, especially in the VR space, are like very simulation. And that's not what I want. Sure. I want more kind of like dogfight kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, Crimson Skies. So Crimson Skies holds a special place for a couple reasons. Number one, because that's my favorite type of one of my favorite genres. And it was just done so well. Looked great. It was super fun. Everything was really, really good polish. The other thing though is this is the first time that I played online.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So where I went to school, I didn't have an online connection. So I wasn't able to play. Well, I did have an online connection, but we weren't able to do gaming on it. And so I can remember getting out of the dorm and being able to game properly for the first time. And the game that I sunk my time into in the very first, and when I say that, I mean like, just jumping into a random match, where you just match make and go to town. The very first time I ever did that was Crimson Skies, so it's kind of like you never forget your first time kind of thing, right? And I remember just seeing the multi like the list of players all kind of like found, and they're all there, and then you load in and there's people flying around like what the crap is this? This is like the future of gaming, right. And because I mean, up until then, you had LAN, Xbox, and until Live launched, the only thing you had was LAN parties or single screen couch co-op.
Yeah, hey man, when I had my Dreamcast, it had the dial-up port in the back, right? I
That's
played NBA
true.
2K, like NBA 2K, whatever that was. That was the first game I ever played online because I had my Dreamcast plugged into the dial-up, man.
and the Phantasy Star, Phantasy Star was. On that too. So funny side story. I actually owned the
always a side story with you,
the Ethernet. Sorry, I know. I bought the little adapter for the Ethernet thing. I never plugged it in, not one time. But it was just like I gotta have it, like it has to complete. Yeah, what didn't you like plug into the bottom?
No, on the Dreamcast, it had like a port. Like you could buy an Ethernet port one.
Okay.
Okay. But it had the dial-up connection on it.
The GameCube had one,
right?
Where you clicked it in. That's right. Yep. Okay. So I bought that and never used it, but I did buy it just for like anyway. So that's not a side note.
Back to your game. Right.
That's a side note of not really a side note. Sure. Crimson Skies, one of my favorite games, and so it holds a really special place because it was my first online. I would love to see like a really cool like $20 or $30 super high polished downloadable title that's just multiplayer focused. I mean, that's what the drive for a lot of games nowadays, and I would probably actually play that game a lot, just multiplayer, just load in and just fly around and shoot the crap out of things. I'd love it.
And with that, speaking of favorite games, the next one I'm going to talk about is actually getting not remastered, but it's on the PlayStation 4, just not on the Xbox One, and that is Psychonauts. Psychonauts is like my top 5 favorite games of all time.
This makes me sad.
You know, and plus, I mean, the one on PlayStation 4 is just the PS2 version. That's all it is. It's the PS2 version. And the Xbox version was the better version of that game. You know, look better draw distance, you know, all that. It was just a better game.
Sure.
And actually, the way I owned it, because I didn't have the original Xbox, I have it on PC. And the thing is, because it's an older PC game, it works, but sometimes some of the graphics will flicker a little bit because it doesn't, you know, talk to my video card the best. So I would love to have a great version on console of Psychonauts, especially with the sequel coming out, because we know the sequel's there. Now, I'm trying to remember, Psychonauts 2 was a Kickstarter, wasn't it? I think. Because I know they got Psychonauts VR coming, and Psychonauts 2 got announced. I mean, it's coming. I believe, like
it's
I said,
coming.
It's Kickstarter.
Yeah,
but
I guess maybe.
And with PlayStation 4 getting, you know, the PS2 version, I would love to either get a completely remastered version, which would be amazing, or just to get the Xbox One version backwards compatible. Either way, I'd be absolutely fine. That way I can have both games on one console. I would be so happy about that. I mean, Psychonauts is just, if you haven't played it, you are a psychic cadet at this camp for kids with psychic powers, and you jump inside people's minds, inside their minds, and each mind you jump into is like a completely different world. So that's the way, instead of like Mario, you're jumping into paintings, and this one you're jumping inside people's heads. I mean, it was so good. I absolutely loved it.
It's Tim Schafer,
Right.
you know, so at his best. I mean, there is some of the best dialogue. I love Psychonauts. Now, Psychonauts was backwards compatible with the Xbox 360, and they removed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so fun note. I still have my Xbox 360 Slim, and the one game that I will never delete off of that is Psychonauts. Right. So I can play whatever I want to. But I agree. I would. So here's the thing for me. That I really, you know, I think about like long term, right? So Phil seems to be. We say Phil like we know. Well, I know him. But just for the sake of you, who you don't really have a relationship with him like I do. Sure. So Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has always said that one of the things that they really want to focus on is future-proofing what you buy.
Right.
And so what this means is that I feel like anything that's on the Xbox One right now, in the iteration that it's in right now, at least for the foreseeable future, and I would venture as long as Phil's running things and the Xbox brand is alive, you're going to be able to have that content. There's no reason for it not to be accessible. Sure. This goes back to the idea that you can play a PC game from the 80s on the PC that you have sitting in your house right now, and that's where Phil's going with
which would be absolutely awesome. 100%.
Which is awesome. Yep. So then it comes back to, yes, I have it on my 360. I can play it right now, but eventually my 360 is going to crap out or whatever is going to happen, and that's going to be gone. And I am not going to have, because right now, if it got deleted, there's no way to go back on the marketplace and re-download it because it's been taken off. Mm-hmm. So like I have the download, so I'm holding on to it for dear life.
Sure.
So yes. So bringing it onto the Xbox One,
be amazing.
Just reiterates that we're going to have this perpetual.
Right. And just the fact that they're making a sequel, and if you didn't have a way to play the original, that would drive me crazy. Because I'm the kind of person where I like to have all my games in one place. Like, that's why I'm going back, and I'm going to get the Ezio collection and get the backwards compatible version of Assassin's Creed 1, because that way I just have them all on one system, and they're all in one place, and I just like that. I don't like to have to jump between systems, and, I'd like to rather have my library in one place. So much better.
Yeah.
But, okay, Chris, what do you got for us next? Next game.
Well, just real quick, to finish on Psychonauts. Look, Tim, I know Tim Schafer also listens to the show.
I forgot.
We have
a
really big fan base. I don't know if people realize that. So Tim, listen, we will help you fund Psychonauts 2 by buying Psychonauts 1. You don't have to do anything to it. Absolutely. Put it on the marketplace tomorrow, and I will pay you $20 to own Psychonauts on my Xbox One, and that'll help fund Psychonauts 2. See, this is a win-win. I'm trying to help you out.
It'd be the third time I'd buy the game, and I'd still be absolutely fine with that.
I would
Isn't
be
that
fine
terrible?
with it.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so I would go KOTOR. So Star
Oh,
Wars.
I had that on my list
The
too.
Republic.
Awesome. So
So
good.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Anybody who follows me or knows me knows that, and so Star Wars games always have a special place in my heart. Even the really crappy ones, like Masters of the Terra Casa, but they always have kind of a special place. So for me, though, KOTOR was the first time that I really remember like a video game taking it seriously.
Mhm.
I remember I loved the N64 game Shadows of the Empire.
Oh man, that was so good. Dash Rendar. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Dash Rendar, man.
So
The
good.
Outrider. So and it was it had like a like a real storyline.
Sure.
The Jedi Academy games were pretty good too.
Mhm.
But like KOTOR took all of that and just dwarfed it by having this amazing, sprawling, epic story that you were in complete control of. And it's like 40 or 50 hours, or and that's just like a standard playthrough without going and doing a lot of stuff. I downloaded on my iPad. And I played on my iPad too, which
I can't imagine how clunky that would be.
Listen,
but sure.
side note, it's great on the iPad. It's really good. They did a few things to make the interface work a little bit better. I would prefer playing with a controller, but anyway. That being said, give me the original KOTOR. I would love to play it on the Xbox One with the Xbox One controller sitting on my couch.
So much better.
I love
so
that
much, especially now that BioWare has really gotten good at making those kind of RPGs work on a console. So good. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll hit it really, really fast.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up something that's extremely obscure. No one's gonna know what this game is, but I love this game back on when it was on Xbox and GameCube and things like that. Sega Soccer Slam. Now I don't know if you remember this game or not.
Incredibly racist. I love that game.
That game is so good because if you haven't played it, it was actually the team that made Mario Strikers. If you ever played that soccer game,
which
same
is a great
team.
game.
Right. And in this team, in this game, you were just generic teams. It was the Toxic team, the Sub-Zero team, and the Tsunami team. They all had powers based on, what they were. Like the Toxic team could use poison, and the Tsunami team used water, and Sub-Zero used ice. But it was just like a crazy soccer game. It was like I said, like Mario Strikers, kind of like NFL Blitz and the NBA Jam, those kind of games.
Yes.
And it was so much fun. Because we were talking earlier, with another show this week, if you watch all our stuff, we kind of talked about arcade games kind of disappearing, those arcade sports games. And I would absolutely love for that, like something like that to come back. I would be so hyped and so excited just to get something fun, just to sit down and play with your friends, and just, you don't have to take it seriously. It's not like Madden, it's not like, MLB The Show, it's not like these other, realistic sports games. It's just corny and fun, and I would love that.
Sure. No, I loved it. It was a great game.
So good.
I would play it.
Well, Chris, what do you got? One more game.
So look, I hate to beat a dead horse, but it is what I'm known for. So I'm gonna go back to Star Wars, and they released a game called Republic Commando. For the original Xbox. And I believe it was maybe on PlayStation 2 as well, but it was a Star Wars first-person shooter, and this was around the time that the god-awful prequel trilogy was coming out. But it put you into, it was a troop-based, like a squad-based tactical, maybe not tactical, but there were some tactics involved. But it was a shooter, and so it's funny to go from something like KOTOR, which is a super deep, character building RPG, to on the same platform right next to it having this really cool first person shooter experience in the Star Wars universe, which to that point now let me be clear. I understand Jedi Academy was first person, but it wasn't a shooter, well, I guess
maybe it kind of was, right? Sure. But go ahead.
Anyway, it wasn't like a squad. It wasn't like a squad based like a Call of Duty or like a Battlefield, and that's kind of what. And so like playing Battlefront. So kind of bring it back home. Battlefront came out last year, and Battlefront was a ton of fun. But I just kept thinking, because Battlefront had no single player, and I just kept thinking, man, I'd love to just play as like a stormtrooper or just like a rebel soldier playing through the original trilogy, and just be boots on the ground. You know, you're away from the lightsaber battles, away from the X-wing battles. You're just on the ground. You know, eating soup out of a can. You know, crapping in the woods. You know. And I think that'd be fun. So yeah, I loved Republic Commando. It was really cool. It kind of had a new spin for the Star Wars universe for me. I would definitely play it again if it was out.
Awesome. Well, guys, we want to know what games you want to see. Just let us know in the comments down below. I actually have a few other honorable mentions to shoot out real quick. I had Toe Jam and Earl 3 on my list. I had Crazy Taxi on my list. Blinks the Time Sweeper. I had all sorts of stuff. So, guys, let us know what you want to see. Let us know in the comments down below. But until next time, guys, we are out.
Goodbye.
Hey, guys. We hope you really enjoyed this contest from Xbox Dive. If you like what you saw, make sure to comment and subscribe down below. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Till next time, guys, we're out.